Hey there, and welcome to Growth Amplifiers. I'm excited for another episode, and today I'm happy to have Shauna, commonly known as the Tax Goddess. She is a U.S. top 1% ranked, highly sought after tax strategist. She is passionate about helping successful business owners, entrepreneurs, and high wage earners reduce their tax burden. Having founded Tax Goddess Business Services back in 2004, she has built a large global team of tax specialists who use plain language, not tax code, to help their clients create tax opportunities and manage tax risk legally. Welcome to the show, Shauna.
Thanks so much for having me. Hi, how's it going?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited to talk to you. We had a conversation earlier, and you've done so many great things. So I'm really excited to share some of the things that you do and your expertise with our audience, because I know that you're going to give them some great nuggets that are going to help them in this year and long into the future. So to kick us off, I want you to just share a little bit about you and yourself and how you evolved into becoming called the Tax Goddess.
All the good bits. I would love to. So I actually started off in astrophysics, not anywhere near tax, accounting, any of the rest of it. And a very long story short, my family for 800 years has always been business. So they said, we think you should take maybe some accounting, some finance. What else should we do? I took a tax class, fell in love, absolutely fell in love. And for me, it's because taxes are like having a chessboard, right? All these different pieces, all these different rules, which set of rules applies to which pieces, that kind of thing. And how do we move the pieces together to get our outcome, to capture the king? Very long story short, did the big firm, right? So ex-KPMG, went to a medium firm, went to a small firm. I call it the Goldilocks, Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear, and went out on my own because what I found, and I love all of my history, but a lot of taxes were about looking at it from what had been done, right? Not the creative stuff, not creating patterns ahead of time to plan. And really that's where I felt the most value was for clients, was saying, it's April 15th, what you didn't do, and saying, hey, it's June this year, let's do all the things we need to do so that when you get to April 15th, you are happy as a client. Yeah, and fell into, I guess people really like it. Now I'm called the Tax Goddess. So it seems to work out.
Exactly. I love the fact that you mentioned chess and strategy, because that's where I feel like a lot of business owners, they're good at what they do, but they don't take a time to step back and look at the bigger strategy, not only for their clients, really helping the clients be future focused, but also in their own accounting firm or their own business. And where I'd love to take this conversation is because I feel like you can add a lot of value to some of these accounting firm owners, is how they can start to leverage someone like you to expand what they can do and make those conversations more forward facing. So why do you believe strategic partnerships are so important in the accounting space?
What I have learned is that I'm not very good at doing all the things, right? I can't be a lawyer and an insurance planner and do the taxes and a bookkeeper and do tax strategy. I cannot do all the things and do them well for my clients. I thoroughly believe that when you have one set of specialty, and that specialty can be very deep, right? But when you have one set of specialty and you work within a team and you help the team communication, both to in between the team members, but also to the client, so the client understands what's going on, that the client themselves, to whom we have a fiduciary duty, is going to get a better outcome. So I'm huge on having the partnerships and letting everybody do what their specialty is.
Yeah. And the key part that I always talk about, because I have the same philosophy, I can't do everything. Sometimes we can scratch the surface. And since we are that partner for that business, it's our duty to help them. And a lot of times I see people uncover those things and they just leave it. But what are some of those triggers or things that you see accountants where they identify an opportunity where someone like yourself can help, that they should be on the lookout for? What are some of those events or red flags or just indicators that they see when they're working with their clients that would
trigger an opportunity? I think the biggest one is if you see your clients start bringing you Wall Street Journal articles, or they start bringing you like, hey, I saw this presentation and a financial advisor was talking about this thing. Generally what that indicates, and often, I used to be a tax preparer. We don't prepare taxes anymore because I wanted to specialize. And when we were tax preparers, there was so much stuff going on, estimates and quarterlies, and what are we doing, and end of your tax bills. You never have a chance to come up, pop your head up and go, wait a second, this doesn't make sense with that other thing. And if we had a minute to look at it, that would be helpful. So often what we hear, clients, when they call somebody like us, a strategist, the first thing they say, I love my CPA and I would never leave them, but what do you have? Like, they're curious. They just want more information. So the very first red flag for me as a professional, right, is what are the actions of my clients, right? If they never ask me about anything and their tax bill is in the 7% range, we're probably fine. But if they're bringing Wall Street Journal articles, or they're telling you they went to go sit at the dinner that the financial advisor guy was showing because he's got discounts on something on capital gains, whatever, right? That's a huge red flag. Generally, what we tell our CPA partners, because we partner with hundreds of CPAs, right? What we tell our partners is that if you get to that point and you don't feel confident that you've either done all the things, right? You've told them about the 401k, you've told them about the car, you've told them about the low-hanging fruit strategies. Start there. Start with the basics. Start with what you can help, okay? And then level number 2 is if you don't feel comfortable, get a partner that you do feel comfortable with. And that partner and you really need to determine, how do you want your clients run? So this kind of goes into an aggression level discussion, which I'm happy to have if you want. Advisors need to know where they sit, where their clients sit, and are you a good match with each other? So
Yeah, and that's a great point, because you run your own business, so you really should be working with the types of clients that you want to work with, that you can provide the most value to, and that align with who you are and what services that you provide. And I think that ties into a little topic I want to dive into, which is future-proofing these firms, where I think most firms feel like they need to be everything for everyone, which makes it the opposite. It's counterintuitive.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say it's very hard to do all the things for everyone, right? So if you have clients that have a 50 million net worth and you have clients that are barely scraping by paycheck to paycheck, how do you provide that value on both ends of that? Versus if you had a strategic partner where they do the big guys and you do the little guys, all their little guys will be referred back to you, and all your big guys will get referred to them. And magically the clients are happier.
Yeah. Speaking through experience for yourself, I assume that you probably have partners that you work with that going into it, they were tentative, they were fearful that either you're going to take their clients, and that rather than it helping their business, it would actually hurt them. What are some of the kind of after state, that transformational end state that they came through, where now they're a partner with you? What does that transition look like? And what do you hear from those partners that you work with about how they thought before and after?
You're 100% right. Most CPAs go, my clients like 100, right off the bat. The biggest thing is it's trust, right? But you always manage trust and you always check trust, right? So step number 1, anytime we're talking to a CPA that wants to partner from that standpoint, is first of all, let's talk about technical strategy. Like, let's get into the real technical details, because we would love to be a partner for you. But if a client's a level 8 on that aggression scale, right, they're really on the far end of that aggression scale, and our strategy is a level 8, but you're a level 2 as a CPA, we don't want to tell your clients about a level 8 strategy, and then they're going, my CPA won't sign off on that. We don't want to put you in a position where you don't feel comfortable doing whatever the strategy is. So step number 1 is understanding, who are you as a CPA, you and your firm, right? If you have partners, what's everybody's level? What do you agree with? That kind of thing. And then the second piece, let's say now we agree we're both going to be at a 5. All clients for your firm is going to be at a 5. Great. In the discussions, I want you as a CPA in the discussions with the client. And that's really for 2 reasons. 1, so you can hear every single word we're saying, right? Which tends to help with any kind of concerns or relationships, right? But 2, because your client has used you for 20 years, they trust your opinion over anything else. So they want me as a strategist to describe what the strategy is, to look at you as a CPA and say, thoughts, concerns, and you go, nope, sounds amazing, let's do it. Fabulous. Now, the third big thing we hear, and this is right after the trust is built, we understand the aggression level, we've done some plans, clients are happy, everything's happy. The third thing that people tell us is the sense of relief, because they didn't know who to trust. They were fearful that some other strategist who does do tax returns would get that client and take that client. We don't want your client. I don't want to do tax returns. I love it. You do tax returns. That's great. So being able to find a partner that you vibe with, right? You have to like each other. You have to trust each other. Don't pass clients to somebody you don't trust, period.
I like that. And I think you hit the nail on the head, like that fear. But the challenge that happens if you lay into that fear, you get stuck, right? You don't take action. And if you're not taking some sort of action, you leave it up to default, which is, as you stated before, there's so many resources now. Those clients are going to start to research. They're going to find other information. And hopefully they don't end up with some guy on TikTok that's got some
the finance bro with the yacht or whatever. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yep.
So I think that's really important to be proactive. And as that future looking accounting partner, that's where you should be several steps ahead of your client and saying, hey, here's some things that we're considering. This is what we were thinking it would be, where you would be comfortable. What are your thoughts? And then be able to take the next step from there.
Yeah. And really, I hate to keep coming back, trust, faith, like these kinds of words, right? You want to be open-minded to the opportunity, okay? Because according to Google, there are 660,000 CPAs, okay? There's only 15 of me, certified tax strategist, in the entire country. If you don't like me, go talk to Bob. Maybe Bob is a better fit. Dead serious though. You are interviewing for a position in your trusted core as your CPA, you're interviewing for that position. So find the person that you really like and that you want to work with, that you believe is above board, will meet all your requirements and help your clients the way that you want to see them helped.
I like that. I want to take a step back and talk more in a general business, since you've had experience in a lot of different levels and you've built a very successful firm, and now you're starting to specialize in the parts that you really enjoy doing it and love the most. As a business owner speaking to other entrepreneurs and business owners that have their own accounting firm, what kind of lessons have you learned along that journey that you feel would be helpful to them?
The automatic answer is don't do what you don't love. But that can be hard, right? When I hung out my shingle 22 years ago, you want to pay me? Great. I'm like, not illegal. I'm in. Okay. So, when you get to a point where you do start to specialize and you do find something that you really like, maybe it's all tax prep, but you really like to work with real estate agents. You find the industry fascinating. Do that. Specialize. People get so afraid that there's not going to be enough fish in the sea. Okay. As I said, there's only 660,000 CPAs in the entire US. Okay. There's a lot more taxpayers than that. Marketing and advertising and sales tends to be really hard for CPAs, in particular for tax professionals. You don't have to do that. There are firms that can do that for you. There are other specialists that can help you with those kinds of things. Do what you love. Absolutely do what you love. And it's scary to rip off the Band-Aid. I've done it myself. I used to have payroll, bookkeeping, tax prep, strategy, entity formation. We do one thing. And every time I peeled off a layer, I wanted to cry. Okay. So it happens. But when you do it, and then it's amazing because your clients will also see that super passion every time you talk about it. Right. So I actually and I'm already a bouncy, bubbly kind of person, right? But you get me talking about tax strategy, I will talk for 8 hours straight and be like super high and super happy and all the things, right? So people can see that and vibe with that. So
yeah, I agree with that. It being counterintuitive, you think you're reducing the pie, but the truth is now your message is really resonating. Our business is called Growth Amplifiers. We started Rock My Image, so we have the music metaphor going. And we always talk about putting out a frequency that is in tune with your audience, right? Because there's lots of different radio stations, but when you find the one that you love and you're broadcasting out, there's someone out there that's been waiting for it. So they come back. And the other thing I wanted to quickly touch on was you had mentioned before, reciprocal relationships. So if you're cutting some of those elements off, now you've got new partner opportunities that you have that you can start to connect with, and you're providing value to them, and they want to obviously return the favor. So it's a great way to grow those relationships. Have you seen that happen with you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When we got rid of payroll, first of all, it was no more payroll deadlines, which is lovely. But yeah, because now we can call our payroll company. If I'm in the middle of talking with a client, I can say, oh yeah, you need Bob. It's not even a question. It's just, you need to talk to Bob. We'll get Bob and we'll set up a meeting. We'll do the call and life is good. Now, I will say when you're first building your partnerships, inspect what you expect. So set the tone, set the expectations. If I'm sending you one referral a month, I expect at least one referral a month coming back, right? Because we have run into people who they have the best of intentions, but they don't remember to refer you back. It's not necessarily that they're bad, but if you're going to build referral partnerships, start looking at the actual the statistics, right? What's happening with the stats? How many referrals have I sent? Have those clients been happy? And how many am I getting back? Yeah.
That's a great point. And it's funny you mentioned that. I was having a conversation with someone this past week, and he was talking about how he had a pipeline of business that he was passing to someone and was not getting it back. And I love that little quote, inspect what you expect, because that's really setting those expectations and communicate. The other thing that's important there, and I'm glad you brought it up, because we just ran a referral challenge that we created and we give access out to, is a lot of people want to give referrals or get referrals, but they don't have the systems, the tools, and the resources to make it easy for that partner. So if you make it easy for someone to refer you, you stay top of mind with them, it's going to make it a lot easier to get those results back.
100%. And you know what's coming to mind? There's the old way and there's the new way of staying in front of somebody, right? It used to be, oh, let's go out for drinks, dinner, whatever, once a month. You also need to know the other side of the party, right? So for example, I'm a homebody. I love staying at home. I love me some Zoom, and let's do margaritas and Zoom. Like, I'm in, right? So figuring out that relationship bit before you ever talk business is also important. So
I love that. Shauna, as we start to wrap here, I want to ask you, you're obviously future focused. What is one thing that, if there's a listener out there, they've got a firm and they feel just, I'm living in today, I'm not looking forward with my clients or with my business, what's one thing that they could do today, one step to help them on that pathway towards making their firm future focused?
Ooh, I'm going to have to hit on AI. I'm sure everybody else is hitting on AI. One of the things that we've done that I absolutely am in love with, Google has a product called NLM, which stands for NotebookLM. And within Notebook, it only looks at the data that you give it. Okay. So a great way to really help your clients is to maybe upload some articles from the tax advisor about the best 25 strategies that are coming up for upcoming year. Upload a basic bio, obviously redacted, no client socials, names, that kind of thing, right? But upload a bio of that client and then ask the NLM, so which of these strategies might work best for this client? It is a fast, easy way for you to be able to look at opportunities. And even if you only went to each client with, hey, I was thinking about this for next year, and I think this might work for you based on all our historical conversations. What do you think? Your clients are going to be head over heels in love with you. So I would start there.
I love that. Awesome. Shauna, thank you so much for your generous insights today. If there's someone out there, whether they're a tax owner of an accounting firm, or even if it's just a business owner that's, hey, I need that tax goddess to work with me, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
We are super easy to find, taxgoddess.com. So you can book a meeting with our team and we'll have a chat and see how we can help each other.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.